Okay, we're going to go through 4 worked examples for our integers. So worked example 1, we're having a look at adding and subtracting positive and negative integers. So our first example is A, and we've got -3 plus 8. Now what I can do to help me work this out is I can construct a number line. Now this one doesn't need to be scaled because I'm using it just to help me determine the value. Now if I place -3 on that number line, I then need to have a look and say, okay, well, what is the operation being performed? So in this case, it's plus. So if I'm standing here at -3, I'm going to go up the number line 8 units. So if I go up 8 units, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What you then need to do is you need to fill in, okay, well, what are the values? So we've got -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our answer to -3 plus 8 is 5. Our second one, we've got -4 minus 2. So again, if I draw myself a number line to help, I will annotate on that -4. Now, if I'm standing at -4, I'm subtracting 2. So what that means is I need to go down the number line 2 units. So we're going to go from -4, 1, 2. And so we've gone to -5, -6. So our answer to -4 minus 2 is -6. Our next one, we've got -5 minus -7. So again, if I draw a line to help, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my -5. Now, if I'm standing on -5, I've got a subtraction. So what that means is I'm going to face this way. But the difference between this one and the one before is this 2 here was positive, and this 7 is negative. So I'm not going to walk forwards. I'm actually going to have to walk backwards 7 units. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. So our answer here is 2. Now, how else could we have got to 2 without having to think, okay, I need to face towards negative and then walk backwards 7 units? Well, if you have minus a negative, what this means is it is a plus. So instead of writing -5 minus -7, we could change that to -5 plus 7. And then that would make it a lot easier for us because we'd know, okay, we start at -5 and then we're going up 7 units. Our next one, 5 minus 4, I don't think we need a line to help us out with this one. That is just 1. Our next one here, we've got 6 minus -3. Now, as we just said in C, if we've got minus a negative, it becomes a positive. So this is 6 plus 3, which is 9. Now, if I've got plus a negative, what that means is it's just going to be a subtraction. So this is also equal to 2 minus 4. Now, if I'm at 2 and I go down 4 units, I'm going to be at -2. Okay, worked example 2, some multiplication. So if we've got 5 times 4, they're both positive numbers, so that's going to equal +20. We've got -3 times 2. Now, one value is negative, which means my answer is going to be negative. And then 3 times 2 is 6, so my solution is -6. -5 times -3, we have 2 positives, we've got 2 negatives, which means our solution will be positive. And 5 times 3 is 15. 7 times -3, we've got 1 negative. So that means that our solution is going to be negative, and 7 times 3 is 21. So our answer to 7 times -3 is -21. We then have a look at our division. So 100 divided by -10. Because we've got a negative here and a positive here, our solution is going to be negative. So you can also think of -10 times what equals 100. and that's going to be times negative 10. Here we've got negative 64 divided by negative 8. They are both negative, so my solution is going to be positive. And here we need to think of negative 8 times what is negative 64, and so that is going to be 8. And then G, we've got a fraction here. Now this fraction, what it also means is negative 55 divided by 11. We have one negative, one positive. So what that means is our answer is going to be negative, and 55 divided by 11 is 5. So we have negative 5 as our solution. Our next example, worked example 3, we're placing values on a number line. Now you can see our integer values here, they're all between 10 and negative 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a number line, and we're just going to place every value as an increment along that. I'm not going to go up in 2s or 5s or anything like that. I'm just going to place every value on there. So I rule my nice straight line. I then use my ruler to mark out the increments. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect those markings up to the line. Okay, I'm going to place 0 in the middle of that number line. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to annotate on the line. I've marked out every unit, but I'm going to just annotate every second just so that it's easy to read. And then what I need to do is I need to place each of those values on the number line. So I'm going to use a different color. And so negative 8, well, that's going to be here. And I'm going to annotate that that is clearly negative 8. Negative 5, that's going to be between negative 4 and negative 6. Negative 2. Four. 5 is going to be between 4 and 6. 7 will be between 6 and 8. And 9 will be between 8 and 10. Okay, so you can see that we've constructed our number line. We've used a nice straight line. Our increments are evenly spaced apart. And then we place the values that we were required to in the question onto that number line. Okay, comparing integers. So remember that for comparing, we use our less than, greater than, equal sign. Remember that the crocodile wants to be facing towards the most food. So here we've got negative 5 and negative 7. If I have a look at this number line that I just drew up here, negative 5 is here, negative 7 would be down here. So which one is further away from 0? That's negative 7. That means that it's smaller. So we want to have our crocodile eating negative 5. So this reads that negative 5 is greater than negative 7. We look at 3 and 12, which is bigger? 12. So if we read that from left to right, 3 is less than 12. And then our last one here, we've got 1 and negative 10. Well, negative 10 is all the way down here below 0, and 1 is greater than 0. So what that means is 1 is bigger than negative 10. So if we read this from left to right, 1 is greater than negative 10. Okay, and our last worked example is having a look at our understanding of BIDMAS, or our order of operations. So what we need to do is in our first one here, we've got 7 plus 2 times 8 minus 3 in brackets. So remembering that with our BIDMAS, we do brackets first, then indices, then division, multiplication, depending on which one happens first, and then addition, subtraction, depending on which one happens first, working left to right. So in our first one here, we are going to look at the brackets first. So we say, what is 8 minus 3? So we're going to have 7 plus 2 times 8 minus 3 is 5. I then have two operations, an addition and a multiplication. So our next one is going to be our multiplication. So we then are going to have 7 plus 10. We only have one operation left. So we are going to do what's 7 plus 10? It is 17. In our next one here, we don't have any brackets, but we do have indices. So this 2 squared is an indice. So 2 squared means 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. And then we've got minus 5 times 20. We now are looking at a subtraction and a multiplication. So we are going to do the multiplication first. So we now have 4 minus 5 times 20, which is 100. We just have a subtraction, so 4 minus 100. So that is negative 96 because we started at 4 and we went down 100 units. And our last example here, we've got 20 divided by 4 times 5 plus 3 minus 2. So the first thing we're going to do is our brackets. So we then have 20 divided by 4 times 5 plus 3 minus 2 is 1. I then have a look. I've got division, multiplication, and addition. So we know that either the division or the multiplication has to happen first, and we go from left to right. So we're going to do the 20 divided by 4 first. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. So we've got 5 times 5 plus 1. Multiplication, addition. Multiplication happens first. So 25 plus 1. And then we can do our addition. So our solution here is 26.